When was the first time you learnt about the death penalty?
Well, I had seen in a history book Joan of Arc being burned at the stake. So I thought, oh, this is really barbaric. I mean, her only crime is to beat the English in a few battles, you know? So I was really impacted by that. And then I decided when I was about 16 to write a history essay about the death penalty. And it came as a big surprise to me that they were still doing it in America. I thought I'd just go and sort them out and teach them that it was wrong.
And how was your journey to doing that?
Well, you know, they have a plan for young people, and that plan very often is not what you want to do. And the plan for me was to go study science at Cambridge. I'm not interested in science. I mean, my A-levels were physics, chemistry, maths, and further maths, and I just find that incredibly boring. And I went to Cambridge the next week and said, I'm not coming to Cambridge. I'm going to go to America and do what I want to do. And this guy in a tweed jacket said, oh, this is the biggest mistake you'll ever make in your life. I said, I bet it's not. And so I went to America instead.
And what was your first experience of death row like? Can you talk me through what was going through your mind when you walked and met those prisoners?
Oh, I remember it very vividly. It was a place called Reedsville,
yeah,
Georgia, where the Georgia State Prison was. I was down visiting people on death row when I was about 20. And look, it was the summer of my second year of college and university in America. And really, I was only useful for one thing, which was to go visit the prisoners. And I remember I was going into Reedsville, Georgia State Prison, and I was thinking, what am I going to talk to these guys about? And why do they want to talk to me? I mean, it must be miserable on death row, and here am I coming in to talk about my incredibly fortunate life. And I went in, and it was just great. I mean, you know, most of my best friends over the years have been people on death row, let's face it. This notion that you shouldn't have an emotional attachment to your clients, just stupid. Of course you should.
I know some lawyers take the approach that you don't have a relationship. Why do you think that that's a nice way to approach it? What is it about?
Oh, how nice, that? Nice. I'm not sure nice is the word I'd use for it. No, it's because it's the only human way to do it. When you're representing someone in front of a jury, if you don't like them, or if you're not friends with them, that's going to come across. And I normally would spend about 3 years preparing for a trial because it takes a lot of work. And by then, you've really got to know the person. And we are all better than our worst 15 minutes.
What were the ways in which the US government were inflicting capital punishment? Because it was varied at the time, and I know it's changed a bit.
Still is varied. I mean, look, I've lost 6 people over the years, and 2 with the electric chair, 2 with the gas chamber, and 2 with a lethal injection. And, you know, if people say it doesn't make any difference, that's the electric chair, just disgusting that you put 2,400 volts of electricity through someone's head. And, you know, Nicky Ingram, he and I were born in the same hospital, Addenbrooke's in Cambridge. And I had to watch him die. And I liked Nicky. We'd been friends for 12 years when they killed him. And he first, I mean, oh God, you know they go through all that nonsense about last meals. And Nicky said, I don't want a last meal because you're about to kill me. And he said, I want a last cigarette. So I asked if they'd give him a last cigarette, and they say no, because it's bad for his health. And I say, you've got to be kidding me, you're planning to kill this poor guy. So I went out and told the media, and that they were humiliated by that, so they gave him a last cigarette. But then they shave his head, shave his leg, and put, 2,400 volts through him. It's just disgusting. It's not easy. After Nicky's execution, I mean, I still have PTSD from that. If I close my eyes right now, I can see the black and white of him being electrocuted right in front of me. It's horrible.
And it's not a quick process, is it? It's really inhumane in the sense of the time that it takes.
Yeah, and, Jesse Tafaro, his head caught on fire because the guards didn't like him, so they didn't put the right stuff. And so, yeah, it takes a lot longer. It took. Nicky wasn't killed by the first round of electricity. Yeah. And then there's the gas chamber. Edward Johnson, the first person I lost, was 1987, and I was very young, and I really didn't know what I was doing. And if I knew today, I mean, if I knew then what I know today, he'd be alive. And he was innocent, and it really, ugh. But they gassed him in the gas chamber, and that was Zyklon B, the stuff they used in Auschwitz. Now, you know, I'm half Jewish myself. I don't think you have to be half Jewish to figure out that's not a nice thing. And indeed, I walked into the gas chamber with him. It was just horrible. And then, you know, lethal injection's no better. I mean, because they have people who aren't doctors doing it, so they can't find a vein, and they stick things around for up to an hour trying to find a vein before they do that, and then they screw it up all the time. So it's all bad. There's not, if you ask me which way I want to be executed, it's of old age. You can execute me of old age by giving me too much gin just when I'm, you know, about to become incompetent, and that'll be fine. That's what I'm going to do anyhow. So, you know, I don't need them to do it to me.